Liao Jie still remembers that his biggest dream as a child was to open a hair salon. This was his mother's wish before she passed away. After her death, this wish became the goal that Liao Jie and his father, Liao Tailai, strived for. The father and son live frugally, saving every penny to buy their own house and open their own barbershop. Liao Tailai is the head waiter at Beofilu restaurant. His salary is enough to support the family, but saving up to buy a house is quite challenging. To save on water bills, they turn the faucet to a dripping state. He never uses the bathtub to save on gas bills. The gas water heater is turned off immediately after use. Liao Tailai packs up leftover food from customers every day for dinner. After returning home, he either tutors his children or makes paper boxes for extra income. Even the clothes his son wears are mostly handmade by him. Life is tough. In 3 more years, they will have saved enough money to buy a house. Liao did the math, it's 1,095 days. Liao Tailai's younger brother made money from stocks and can lend them the down payment for a house. This means they can buy a house earlier than planned. Upon hearing this news, Liao Jie was overjoyed. However, the tides of the era were surging towards them, and they were completely unaware. In 1990, Taiwan stock market surged from 2,000 to 12,000 points in just 2.5 years. This unprecedented bull market led to severe inflation in Taiwan's financial sector.
前这里的牛肉汤面1.32元。
Fortune favors the bold, while the silent savers see their savings shrink. On Baoqing Street, where the Liao family's rental house is located, there is a stark contrast. The Laoli family, who sell snacks, are ready to buy a house during the Spring Festival because of their stock investments. Meanwhile, Zhao, the bicycle shop owner who doesn't invest in stocks, remains the same. When Liao Tailai felt the cold wave approaching, housing prices have doubled, and they can't afford a home anymore. Life suddenly feels like a huge black hole. No matter how much they scrimp and save, they can't fill it. Liao doesn't understand. They clearly have money, so why can't they afford a house?
你去买股票。
Liao Tailai is not someone who would buy stocks. His meticulous budgeting is only applied to daily necessities. His honest nature and sense of responsibility as the eldest in a poor family naturally keep him away from the unpredictable stock market. Moreover, as a single father living on a fixed salary, he has no extra money for such investments. Fortunately, he is an optimistic person. If they can't afford a house now, they'll just keep saving. They were planning to buy one in 3 years anyway. But Liao Jie was not willing to give up. Just as his dream was about to come true, it was quietly shattered. What hurt him even more was that despite all their hard work, they still couldn't afford a house. In this state of both unwillingness and frustration, Liao Jie thought of the old fox. The old fox is the landlord of the Liao family, as well as the landlord of the Li family and Zhao. In fact, the large property on Baoqing Street is just a part of the old fox's assets. The first time Liao met the old fox, it was raining heavily. He encountered those classmates who often bullied him again. Helpless, he could only run to a roadside stall to take shelter from the rain. At this moment, the window of a luxury car next to him rolled down, and an old man dressed in designer clothes called him to get in. For some reason, he inexplicably got into the stranger's car. The old man seemed to know him already and knew his address. The old man asked him twice. Liao remained silent, just gloomily staring at the old man. After returning home, Liao Jiezai learned from his father that the old man was their landlord, Mr. Xia, but people called him the old fox. He found out they couldn't afford a house. The first person Liao thought of was the old fox. He wanted the old fox to sell the house directly to them. The old fox appreciatively said to Liao Jie, "If only I knew your name, but you didn't know mine." The old fox taught him how to use inequality to create more inequality and win against the bully with the long backpack. The mother of the long backpack kid works at the old fox's factory. A female worker engages in prostitution in the warehouse to earn extra money for her child, unaware of the CCTV cameras inside. Liao was quite confused and didn't fully understand the old fox's meaning. But when the old fox said, "Being with strong people will help you rise," it became clearer. He seems to have understood something again. When he got home, he didn't want to turn off the gas after showering because it was pointless. Saving money wouldn't help them afford a house. Yet inexplicably, both father and son caught colds and fell ill. During Liao Tailai's fever, Liao Jie was well taken care of by a beautiful sister, as Liao Jie mentioned. Everyone calls her Secretary Lin. Every month, she comes to Baoqing Street to collect rent. It's obvious to everyone that she has feelings for Liao Tailai. Each time she collects rent, she brings a box of egg yolk pastries for Liao Tailai. But in reality, it's Liao Tailai who likes the egg yolk pastries. Liao Tailai tries to maintain a professional distance with Secretary Lin, as his heart was given to another woman long ago. The lady is not yet Mrs. Hua. Yang Junmei and Liao Tailai were childhood friends. They promised to attend the same university after 3 years. However, Yang Junmei's father sent her to study in the United States, separating them. Life is unpredictable. When we meet again, Yang Jun has already married the big boss, Brother Hua. Liao Tailai has already married and had children. Mrs. Hua's life isn't as glamorous as it seems. It all became a closed canary cage. Every day, Mrs. Hua goes to Baofulu to order a table of dishes, merely reminiscing about the old days and her lost youth. To avoid revealing their past, Liao Tailai cautiously addresses Hua Sa and keeps a proper distance. When they got home, they couldn't help but play the saxophone. The undercurrents of emotions turned into their favorite song, When I Fall in Love, echoing through the night on Baoqing Street. During Secretary Lin's care for Liao Jie, he took him to the old fox's house. It was Liao Jie's first glimpse into the life of the powerful. Luxurious cars, a magnificent villa, and an extravagant lifestyle. It seemed like the old fox lived in a completely different world from theirs. But Liao Jie hasn't forgotten his goal. Last time, he didn't get a chance to speak before being inexplicably interrupted. This time, he won't miss the opportunity no matter what. Buying a house is your father's concern, not yours. If the house price goes up, just keep saving. But Liao kept insisting on selling my dad's house, as if repeating this mantra would somehow get them the house. The old fox saw through his intentions and said, "Let me teach you how to cut off sympathy. First, drink ice-cold water. Third, tell yourself." After returning from the old fox's house, Liao was even more frustrated. He bluntly said that his father's way of turning off the gas was incredibly stupid. His dreams for the future were shattered by reality, leaving him confused and lost. Why, despite all their efforts, were they not the ones with money? After all, Liao Jie is still a child. His confusion and frustration were quickly overshadowed by the joyful atmosphere of Christmas and New Year. Secretary Lin and Mrs. Hua both gave gifts to the father and son. The father also gave him a bicycle. As the father and son ride their bicycles through the streets, it feels like those warm, nostalgic moments have returned. However, shortly after the New Year, at that time, Taiwan's largest underground investment company, Hongyuan Group, faced debt issues. Over 7 years, it had absorbed more than 80 billion in funds. However, the interest paid out had already exceeded 100 billion. Additionally, the government's crackdown on underground investment companies led to a massive run by investors. Hongyuan had to announce a temporary halt on withdrawals. This news caused market panic and a significant drop in stock prices. In the following 8 months, the stock market experienced a cliff-like plunge, leading to the most severe stock market crash in Taiwan's history. Countless investors lost everything overnight, with some even facing family ruin. Among them was the Li family. Just before the new year, Mr. Li invested all his earnings into Hongyuan Group, hoping for quick profits. Unexpectedly, he lost everything. Unable to bear the shock, Mr. Li hanged himself that night, originally planned to buy a house during the Spring Festival in a few days. The night old Li passed away, Mrs. Hua was hit by Mr. Hua. Secretary Lin was hit by the old fox. When Mrs. Hua took off her sunglasses, when showing the scars in front of Liao Tailai, they looked at each other in silence. This time, Liao Tailai did not keep his distance. He kissed Hua's wife. Her scars made him temporarily forget the distance between them. It seems her misfortune has erased her current identity, turning her back into Yang Junmei. Secretary Lin was beaten. It was because Liao Jie reported them. Earlier, in a compartment at Baofulu, Liao Jie accidentally overheard a conversation between Secretary Lin and Brother Hua. Hua was unhappy that the old fox wanted to bid for the securities building. So, he teamed up with village chief Wang to terminate the old fox's recycling yard lease with the county government under the pretext of pollution, aiming to seize the recycling yard. Secretary Lin, with a charming smile, subtly warned Brother Hua that the old fox might target his Baoqing gas station. Secretary Lin's goal is to keep Brother Hua stuck at the gas station, so he won't have the energy to mess with the old fox's recycling yard. But Liao didn't understand the situation and thought Secretary Lin was betraying the old fox. He remembered the old fox's words about using inequality to create more inequality. Now, he knew something the old fox didn't. He was the stronger side of the inequality.
我想跟你一样。
When Liao Jie sat in the old fox's luxury car and proudly passed by the classmates who bullied him, he felt the power of inequality. Secretary Lin didn't expect Liao Jie. She suspects Liao Tailai, just like before when Liao Tailai betrayed his friend Ajia. But Liao Tailai never betrayed Ajia. Let's go back a few years. Ajia packaged some art school students as potential artists and claimed his friends in Hong Kong were from Sotheby's, trying to trick the old fox into buying the students' paintings at high prices. The old fox tricked the unsuspecting Liao Tailai, and with just a few words, he figured out Ajia's scheme. They are students at the art academy. Liao Tailai didn't realize that the extra tip the old fox gave him that night was actually a fee for information. To outsiders, it looks like he betrayed his friends for a reward. The old fox tricked Liao Tailai into revealing information and made others think Liao Tailai was the informant. This is something he would do. She knew the old fox was not a good person, but he treated her, a former dancer, like a daughter because she shared the same birthday as his son. The old fox had a son, who was a doctor, but the son believed he was a bad person and refused his money. He joined an international medical team and eventually passed away. The old fox lost his son in his old age. Secretary Lin, out of gratitude and pity, only wanted to help him, but ended up in such a situation. Before Secretary Lin left, he reminded Liao Tailai that if he wasn't afraid of haunted houses, he might be able to afford old Li's place downstairs. Liao Jie heard this, and the next day, he asked Liao Tailai to quickly go and buy the downstairs from the old fox. They're still holding a funeral.
关我们屁事！
This is the first time Liao Tailai slapped Liao Jie. Liao, in a fit of anger, turned to wait for the old fox at a street stall, but ran into those classmates who bullied him. Gloomily asked those classmates. The classmate felt uneasy and somewhat backed off when questioned. My friend is the person your mom fears the most. Tell your mom there's CCTV in the warehouse. The classmate is unsure. Liao Jie mentioned his mother again, seemingly out of nowhere. Liao Jie didn't wait for the old fox. Let's head straight to the West Side Recycling Center.
我爸房子。
The old fox still didn't give in. He said that was his money. Everyone should protect their own money. Everyone can only help themselves.
那你为什么要帮我？
Then why are you helping me?
因为你就是我。
Because you are me. I have to help you. I've known you since the day you were born. My mom passed away the day you were born.
同家医院。
The elevator was crowded that day, and I was holding a death certificate. Your parents came in with big bags, smiling happily while holding you, but your dad stopped your mom from smiling, although he didn't explain. He sensed that there was someone sad in the elevator. Just by looking at his back, I knew he was the same kind of person as my mom. The old fox lit a cigarette and asked Liao Jie to ask him again. What kind of person is your mother? Someone who cares about others' feelings. The old fox began to tell his story. His mother was a garbage collector and got a small cut from a piece of glass in the trash.
他是收垃圾的。
He doesn't think his mom is pitiful because that's just how the world is. He was very curious as a child. During the Japanese rule in Taiwan, he sought help everywhere using both Chinese and Japanese.
你紅卡上塗到好不好？
Liao Jie really looks exactly like him. Liao Jie denied it this time. He is not the same as the old fox. He doesn't want to become like the old fox. He himself is poor, and his mother has passed away, yet he claims he doesn't feel pitiful at all. He thinks he is in a position of strength, but his words make Liao Shu feel sorry for him. Just like his son who once sat beside him, Liao Jie, sitting next to him, resolutely said, I don't want to be like you. His regrets and tears made Liao Jie constantly reflect on himself. Finally, the old fox gave in and agreed to sell them the house. I didn't expect old Li's son to also want to buy this house. They won't price it as a haunted house, but at market value. They'll take out a loan because it's his father's house, and he wants to keep it. In just 1 hour, the old fox lost 2 million. On one side, there's the agreement with Liao Jie, and on the other, the Li family offers 2 million more. The old fox's true nature is revealed. They chose to let Liao Tailai make the decision. As expected, Liao Tailai decided to give the house to the Li family. He knows Liao Tai too well because he understands his mother's type. Liao Jie was furious when he heard his father's decision. After all the hardships, his mother's last wish was about to come true, but his father just gave it away. He ran out crying, riding his bike while muttering, "It's none of my business." He never wanted a house. What he truly desired was his late mother's dream of owning a barbershop. He longed to come home from school to find his mother cutting hair while telling him to eat the freshly steamed buns. He didn't want to be as cold-blooded as the old fox, who showed no sympathy even for his own mother's death. But he also couldn't understand why his father would sacrifice his own interests to help others. As he sat in the park, angry and confused, a woman sat next to him and said weakly, "They chose the last day to kick me out just to avoid giving me my year-end bonus." It has absolutely nothing to do with him. Seeing Liao Jie confused, the woman said she came to thank him for not telling her son what was captured on the CCTV. At that moment, Liao Jie suddenly understood. He remembered the question the old fox had asked him. "What kind of person is your mother?" Liao Jie found a new answer in his heart because his father was that kind of person. Liao Jie still maintains the same habit as his father, wrapping broken blades before discarding them to avoid injuring garbage collectors. He also keeps his composure when facing sensitive issues. He had a habit of drinking a sip of ice water. He became a successful architect, always mindful of kind details and considerations. However, in conversations, he often revealed the cunning and shrewdness of a businessman. His colleagues called him the old fox, because he only shows the fox side that represents strength.